is happening, guys? Got another tutorial for you. This is Surviving the Times by Nas. This was another requested tutorial, so if you've got one that you would like to see me do, just leave it in the comments below and I will certainly try to get to as many of them as I can. So there is an intro to this song that came from the original song that the loop was sampled from. It's called What Would I Do If I Could Feel, and it's from this musical called The Wiz, which came out in the 1970s. So I'm not going to do that whole introduction. I'm just going to show you the loop that plays through the vocal part of Nas's song. So let's get right into it. Your first chord is going to be B in the bass, and then A, D, F sharp. And you're just going to play that once. Next chord is F sharp in the bass, and then A, C sharp, E. And you're going to play that twice. And the third chord is G in the bass, and then G, B, and D. And that you play that once. So it goes. Again. Then you're going to come up way up here with the right hand, and it's B, D, then F and A together, E, and then that same thing again. So that's the tricky part. It goes. And it's pretty fast. So I put the notated music up there that you can follow, or you could look on the annotations to get the letter names for the notes. But that part's a little tricky because you got to come way up on top of the keyboard here. So it's a pretty big jump. And then, if you're going to play it just like the loop, you got to jump all the way back down to play these two chords. G, G, B, D, then A, C sharp, E. So that's the tricky part, because you go way up to the top, then you got to come way back down. So you're going. So there are a couple ways that you can get around this if you want to try and tailor it a little bit. What you can do is you can play just the bass notes for those last two. So you go. Then right here, just the bass notes. And that's probably the way that I would go if you're going to try to get out of playing those chords there for the last part. Another way you could do it is if you go and then play this part an octave lower, because then your hand's closer. So you can kind of do what you want with it. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. The original tempo is about 96 beats a minute. So let's slow it down to about 65. I'll play through it a couple times, and hopefully you can play along and pick out the notes. So that's it slowed down a little bit. If you guys like this tutorial, definitely subscribe. Click that button. Get these updates as soon as they come out. I'll also put a link to the playlist for all my tutorials. I've got a bunch of like old school hip hop tunes up there that you guys would probably dig. So check that out. And as always, if you have any requests, just leave it in the comments below. I really do look at all of them, and I'd like to get to as many of them as I can. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll play it through a few more times for you here.